Hello everyone, and welcome from Data Legos. Today we're moving into Module 4, API and Backend Integrations. In this module, we'll learn how to connect the two sides, the front-end and the back-end, using APIs. Think of this as building a bridge so that the UI can talk to the server and fetch or send information. Agenda. Here's what we're going to cover today: understanding API contracts, learning the language that connects front-end and back-end. Calling APIs from the UI, how the app requests data and handles responses. Data binding, how we make the UI automatically react to API data. By the end, you'll see how all these pieces work together to make modern applications truly dynamic. What is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. That sounds technical, but here's a simple way to think about it: an API is like a menu card in a restaurant. The menu shows you what you can order; those are the API endpoints. The kitchen knows how to prepare the food; that's the back-end server. You, the customer, don't need to know how the cooking happens; you just place the order. Without APIs, the UI cannot talk to the server. APIs are the middlemen that carry messages back and forth. Example: a weather app fetches live data from a weather API. A banking app fetches your account balance from the bank's back-end system. In both cases, the app looks simple on the screen, but the real power comes from APIs connecting it to live data. What is an API contract? An API contract is like a formal agreement between the front-end and the back-end. It defines two things: what you can ask for, the request format; what you'll get back, the response format. This way, both sides speak the same language. Think back to the restaurant analogy: the menu is the contract. You can only order what's on the menu. The kitchen promises to serve the dish exactly as described. If the UI and backend don't have a clear contract, they'll misunderstand each other, and just like a wrong food order, the result won't be what the user wanted. Requests, how the UI asks for data. When the UI needs data, it sends a request to the backend. A request usually has a few parts: URL, endpoint. This is like the address of the resource you're trying to reach. Example: API students 101 fetches information about student 101. HTTP method, this defines the action you want to take. Get fetch data. Post send new data. Put update existing data. Delete remove data. Headers, these are like envelopes, they carry extra information. For example, an authentication token proves that you're logged in. Body, payload, this is extra data sent with post or put requests. Example: name, Ria, marks, 92, creates a new student record. So, a request is just the UI saying, hey backend, here's what I want, and here's any extra info you need. Responses, how the backend replies. Once the backend receives a request, it sends back a response. A response usually includes status code, a number that tells us what happened. 200 OK success. 400 bad request, wrong input. 404 not found, the resource doesn't exist. 500 internal server error, something broke on the backend. Headers, information about the response, such as content type. Body, payload, the actual data, often in JSON format. So if the request is the question, the response is the answer the backend sends back. JSON payloads. Most APIs today use JSON, JavaScript object notation, to exchange data. JSON is popular because it's lightweight, easy to read, and works across all programming languages. JSON data is stored as key-value pairs and supports strings: name, Anil. Numbers: ID, 102. Booleans: passed, true. Arrays: subjects, math, science. Objects: marks, math, 88, science, 92. Here is the example of JSON for a student. This format makes it very easy for the backend to send structured data and for the frontend to display it neatly in tables, lists, or forms. Thanks for watching. We will continue from the next video.